Making a choice to believe. A spiritual decision. Should you choose to believe in anything? This suggestion seems like a simple enough question to ask anyone, but it is also a complex concept to get our minds wrapped around. It is typical for us to ask this question and then promptly forget we asked it at all. We continue to face numerous challenges every day, and there are almost an unlimited number of them. No wonder we overlook most of them. That is the scenario that dominates our lives. We have momentary inquiries that seem essential to us at the time, but if the answers do not arrive like a lightning bolt into our consciousness, we quickly move on to the next thing that grabs our attention. Also, when we are very young, we are willing to be open-minded about almost everything. We are all psychic explorers in those early years, and then suddenly, we aren't. That result is unfortunate. As we move onward toward adulthood, we have many opportunities to question who and what we are, where we are going, and what kind of person we will ultimately become. Often during those times, that question about who we are and what we want to believe creeps into our consciousness. We usually ignore those slightly persistent questions because we are so involved in the physicality and emotionality of the maturing process. In other words, that age-old question arises again and again, but we are far too engrossed in our work or play to stop and listen to hear those elusive answers. Our once open minds close up just like the aperture of an old-style camera. This attitude is not a natural state for inquiring souls to thrive in. As we navigate the challenges of maturing, many people and institutions have recognized the opportunity to capitalize on our innate psychic explorers. We are wobbling in and out of a perplexed state, trying to determine who we are, what we believe, who we believe in, and what we want to become. Those entities understand that it is imperative to believe in something to advance the evolution of our souls, and they take advantage of our involvement in all the diversions available to us in this physical realm to lure us into their sphere of influence. They tell us that all we need to do is join their group, read their books, repeat their stories, follow their rules, and do everything they want without question. And then, the miracle of miracles takes place. Upon our death and departure from this realm, following a single life experience, we will enter into an undefined elevated state that most of these groups call heaven. It seems to matter little that every single one of us has entirely different life experiences while we are here in this earthly realm. Some of us have had it easy, while others have faced extreme difficulties. Some of us have learned a lot, and others have absorbed little. A few have served humankind greatly, and many more have only served themselves. A very few have been saintly, and another very few have been truly evil. Most of us fall somewhere between those extremes. How often in the learning processes have we seen that everyone graduates from a learning experience with the same degree, regardless of their academic or life-enhancing achievements? Would entering any worthwhile, albeit poorly defined heaven be that easy? If the Creator wanted arriving souls to become mindless supplicants to a deity who seeks only to polish their ego, why not just make that clear to them from the beginning? Non-human animals, for the most part, have been designed to be themselves and not question their degree of being. They just are. It's that simple. They react to their existence and surroundings following an internal programming that we call instinct. We humans have not been created in the same manner. We question everything, and that is the beauty of our being. We continually seek to experience something new, which helps us evolve into something better than we were previously. Unlike non-human animals, a unique experience results in changing us quite dramatically. We humans also strive to improve our circumstances. We know there is more to our existence than what is evident in any given moment or circumstance. We create exquisite music and sing beautiful songs. We create inspirational works of art and build numerous structures, including soaring architecture, not to mention entire cities and nations. We write informative, illuminating, and exciting books that share our knowledge, experiences, and thoughts with a vast audience of fellow humans. What an incredible design humankind is. These unique characteristics have placed us on an accelerated arc of evolutionary development. According to scientific research, most of our fellow animals have taken millions of years to evolve into what they are today. Unless they mutate into other similar species due to cultural or genetic spirits, they remain relatively unchanged. However, humans have been evolving at a relatively fast pace of 40,000 years, albeit not dramatically on a physical level, but certainly on a technological and intellectual one. We are just getting started, despite being influenced by others who attempt to control us and hold us back. And while we are on the subject of evolution, it makes sense to segue back into our discussion of making that decision to believe in something. Despite our rapid evolution compared to other living things on our planet, we are significantly held back by those people, as mentioned earlier. Institutions and groups that are committed to organizing and controlling our actions spiritually, politically, and personally. They have been able to persuade most of us to take the easy way and adhere to the laws and tenets that they espouse. And because this is not always a wrong thing, many of us acquiesce to their demands, follow their rules, and accept their theologies with very few questions. In large part, this has often been a good thing as it has reduced the chaos inherent in anarchical or other forms of leaderless organization, be it governmental or religious. Much good has often come from many of those organizational influences. However, and this is an important point, numerous negative consequences, including wars, have resulted from humans attempting to maintain or promote their allegiances at any cost. My problem with them is their tendency to remain rigid and conservative in their current tenets, and to resist changes that would benefit themselves and their followers. There is a price to pay for being so ultra-conservative regarding our activities in this regard. The cost of rigidity in maintaining the status quo diminishes our ability to evolve into something better than we are now, which is counter to what humans have been created to become. Keeping to the status quo would have kept us in the cave. Keeping to the status quo would mean that we should not have developed tools and weapons or improved our huts and replaced them with better houses. Our villages would not have become cities, and the worship of animals would not have been replaced by any of the great religions we have today. Staying overly conservative would have meant that humankind should have ignored Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, Gandhi, Martin Luther King, and many other great thinkers and beliefs. If there had not been those individuals who refused to limit their thoughts and inquiries, we would still think the world was flat and the center of the universe. Many countries would never have created constitutions that protect their citizens from leadership abuse. Perhaps most importantly, if we remain ultra-conservative, most of our fellow humans would have stayed in the various forms of bondage that those in superior positions place them in. Enslaved people's labor would still be created by Black, Brown, Asian, and other indentured individuals. The mass of humanity would have remained in physical, economic, and social slavery forever if we had not evolved into gradually higher forms of personal freedom. Even in our supposedly enlightened society, some wish to create a subservient class of people made from immigrants, and even married females whose husbands insist that they must be subservient in all matters. It is also challenging to forsake the comfort of what is familiar. It is far easier to remain nestled in a cozy home than it is to embark outward into an unknown and possibly dangerous destination. But where would we be as a society if everyone attempted to remain as they are now? We live in a world that constantly alters its existence, and that is very good for us. This condition of evolution is the essence of creation itself, and we as participants must evolve within the process. Whether we are comfortable with it or not, we must complete the purpose for which we were created. I visualize the essence of creation as a flow of consciousness, similar to a river. From our perspective within that flow, we cannot usually see it, feel it, or even really understand it intellectually. However, if an individual has an artistic or creative bent, they can immerse themselves in that flow. So can a profoundly spiritual person sense their immersion into this river of spiritual consciousness when they shed the rigid doctrines demanded by others and surrender egos that generally dominate personal actions. They can then be in a creative instant and feel the flow of that spiritual stream of consciousness. Many of us experience this flow when we immerse ourselves in inspirational music, gaze lovingly at babies, animals, or each other, or perhaps listen to a spirited motivational speech, read a dramatic book, or watch a movie that resonates with us deeply. The various disciplines of meditation can provide respite from daily problems, offer solutions to emotional stress, and even lead to entry into blissful states. We can enter into that flow of spiritual consciousness when we practice meditation or pray in a heartfelt and sincere manner. In any case, we can immerse ourselves in that creative flow. As that inquiring individual, we can absorb and take out peace, joy, and solutions to chaos and emit a sense of well-being, at least until the competition from our earthly activities again overwhelms our senses. During immersions into that flow of universal harmony, a seeker of creative solutions can achieve breakthroughs they could not reach while involved in everyday activities. At some point in your lifetime, if you're willing to listen to your inner urgings and sincerely believe in something higher than yourself, you need to find a way that genuinely connects with your internal spirituality and reignites your effort to move forward on your own evolutionary path. There is nobody other than yourself who can determine what path you need to adopt to start or continue on that journey. It may be the path you are on now. If the religion or spiritual belief you practice satisfies you, then you should stick with that. However, many, if not most, organized theological or spiritual belief systems are structured to maintain control or discipline for the total flock, and, by doing that, do not tolerate an individual's need to evolve in personal ways. It is often unnecessary to leave that environment, but you must remain free to question whether the thoughts they promote apply to your growth path and arc. In many cases, they insist their followers submit to their rules without question, even when their tenets are outdated and not believable by updated and educated standards. What was best understood and related to in the era of Jesus or Mohammed is not going to be understood and related to in our present stage of development. Often, the principles remain relevant, but the old stories and organizational mandates are outdated and can hinder an individual's spiritual growth if followed too rigidly. It is not for me or anyone else to dictate what you should believe or what your evolutionary timeline and earthly pathways should be selected and followed. There are those here on this globe who are in relatively new or beginning stages of their growth, and others who are much further along. I also believe that all of us will ultimately graduate with full honors, and that the number of experiences that we individually have is of little importance at that time. We most likely have had and will continue to have many failing grades before reaching perfection. The only honest mistake we can make is wasting the perceived time and experiences that we have, and there is no moment like the present to start or return to our journey's path. You can start that journey by selecting a belief system that appeals to your intellect and emotional makeup. Once you have made that selection, learn and practice as much as you can about your choice to see if that selection was the correct one. Just remember, don't follow the precepts unthinkingly. The laws or rules of behavior may not be a perfect fit for you. Constantly ask questions after giving the doctrines a fair and complete chance of convincing you that they are authentic and relevant. And so, to answer the question, should you choose to believe in anything? The answer is a resounding yes, but the choice is yours and yours alone. Our Creator, however you select to visualize that Creator, will always assist you if you make the effort to create an honest choice of belief and put forth a worthy effort to reach the ultimate result is made.